Hey guys, Hannah here. So I did say that I did promise that I would tell you about the exhibit when I got out of it. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. We were in a hurry, and we were in a hurry to get home and eat dinner. So I couldn't. I couldn't do it at the time, but I'm doing it now. So this is kind of the way it's gonna go. I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you about the place I went, the exhibit, the actual exhibit, and Arthur Conan Doyle, and then kind of the character of Sherlock Holmes. So yeah, that's the way that it's gonna go. So I went to the Pacific Science Center, and the Pacific Science Center is located in Seattle, Washington, and it's kind of a educational version of Disney, except it's much smaller than Disney, obviously. And they have they have a planetarium. They have they have a butterfly house. That was very nice. You saw me in the butterfly house, and it was about 25 degrees outside. So it was kind of 80 degrees in there, and I was just like, it feels like summer in here. Continuing on. They just make education fun. I've been there a couple of times. I went there 2 times when I was in elementary school. And some of the things that were there I didn't like. Some things that were there I did like. So, yeah. So moving on to the actual exhibit. So, as you know, I told you that there was no flash photography, so I couldn't show you it was in there, unfortunately. But I'm going to describe it to the best of my ability. They give you a little notebook as you walk in, and you the first kind of room that you enter into, it tells you all about Conan Doyle and kind of his life and what inspired the Sherlock novels, and his career rather than his personal life, which I will get to later. One of the things that surprised me and kind of grossed me out was they had a large rectangle of real human skin. And when it was kind of those things that when I saw it, I just kind of knew. I was just like, oh, please tell me that's not actually what I think it is. And Mama goes, what? And then I point, and she's just like, nah, it's probably fake. And then, I'm just like, no, it's real. I read it. It's real. And she's just like, so she's just like, nah. So I had my dad come over because my mom didn't have her glasses and she couldn't read it. I had my dad come over and kind of squint and just be like, oh, yeah, she's right. It's real. And the skin in question had multiple stab wounds in it, so it was kind of that they had it for solving a crime purposes, kind of forensic purposes. But after my dad said, oh no, it's real, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm nauseous, I have to walk away right now, because that is literally the grossest thing that I have ever seen in my life. The skin was so old, it was white. Anyway, moving on. So, kind of in the next room, because it was in a warehouse, but it was set up to look like rooms. So, for the sake of for the sake of fun, I'm just going to say rooms. So, in the next room, this is where the notebook comes in. Like, you know, there's booths on ballistics, cosmetics, the telegraph, botany. And it's kind of showing, like, how they, how criminals committed crimes and how police and detectives solved them back then, because they didn't have as many scientific advancements as we do now. And so you go around with this notebook and you know, stamp, you know, at each one of the booths except for photography. I was kind of confused because I was just like, okay, you know, I expect it's one of those, oh, this is what photographs, you know, this is a camera back then. It's not necessarily like an interactive thing, it's more like, this is a camera back then. But like, you go to this thing, you go to this thing in the middle of the room, and like you kind of rub a note on the back of a piece of paper, and then like you hole punch it, and you read a secret message when you put the hole punched kind of thing on top of it. And you know, we should have done the Sherlock thing first. We should have done the Sherlock exhibition first, so that we would have had time to solve the mystery. And I was kind of frustrated because my parents were taking forever. And I was just like, I could have been done with this by now, or at least halfway through. And you know, they're history people, so they like to absorb everything. And kind of since it is interactive, the atmosphere was very kind of mysterious and dark and like creepy, but not that creepy. Like, it was creepy, like I could picture like a haunted house using that set. But since the set is, you know, by itself, I'm just like, okay, there's nothing like here. There's nothing creepy. But it is creepy. But it's not creepy. Anyway, you know what I mean. So you get the stamps, and then you go into the next room, and you know, you're in Sherlock and John's apartment, and you basically have to, you know, find certain things in the apartment, and it's just like, okay, it's kind of start using your logical observation skills. And the thing that one of the things that I also didn't like was the fact that, this is just for me personally, this is just a fact about me, I do not like taxidermy. I think that it is creepy and gross, and I honestly think that, you know, yes, you are smarter than the bear because you built a device that shoots it in the head, but one-on-one physically, that bear is gonna rip you to shreds. You know, so I feel like, and also, killing things is not my style. Making the dead things in your home, on your walls, just, no. Me personally, I would never, ever put taxidermy, ever, in my house, ever. None hanging on the walls, none hanging, you know, none on mantelpieces, or anything like that, just, no. Right, so, fact about me. You know, the exhibit, you know, I like the exhibit overall, but I would have appreciated, if, you know, there had actually been some real actors where, you know, you actually get to interview the people who you are, you know, you're trying to solve a mystery. You're trying to help Sherlock, or Sherlock's helping you. Maybe it's a little bit of both. But you're trying to help Sherlock, and I just would have appreciated a little bit of realism rather than kind of a walkthrough. There was you put together kind of you place back together a broken bust, a 1700s bust, and you debate what drag marks versus lots of people walking, and you have to punch the holes to read another secret message to see if you got it right. There was this cool thing, but it was also gross because you were supposed to go to the slaughterhouse, and one of the it was gross because they had fake bloody cow's heads hanging next to it, and I'm just like, ew. But you pressed a button. So how it worked is you pressed a button, and I'm pretty sure, just because I am a theater buff, I'm pretty sure that it was red food coloring. So you pressed it, and blood spat out, and you had to compare the blood spatter that you found at the scene with various types of blood. And, at the end, they tell you, how, what happened. Like, they tell you the answer, and I'm so glad about that, because I didn't get to go all the way. Like, I didn't solve the mystery, and I'm so glad that they actually tell you, because I was just like, if I do all that work and they don't tell me the answer, I'm gonna be really, really mad. So, and then, like, after that, you kind of go up upstairs, except it's not like stairs, it's more of like a ramp. And they show you, like, they talk about Sherlock in kind of pop culture and kind of modern renditions of Sherlock. And so they had props from the Robert Downey Jr. version of Sherlock. They had Johnny Lee Miller's, one of his costumes. And let me just tell you, that guy is lanky. He is tall, and he is lanky. And for the BBC, they had the pink suitcase, and they also had Martin Freeman's bomb vest from the episode where Sherlock meets Moriarty. Then you go through the gift shop, and that's pretty much it. Like, overall, I liked the exhibit, but I feel like they could have done more. They could have made it more, I don't want to say interactive, but they could have made it more interesting and less confusing. So now we're kind of gonna get into Arthur Conan Doyle. As I already said, he was born on March 22nd, 1859, and he died on July 7th, 1930. So he was 71 years old. He was a doctor, a poet, and an author. There we go. I was just like, novelist, and I'm just like, nope, they would have not used that word, or maybe they would have used that word. Anyway, his personal life was really sad, because his first wife, named Louisa, died of tuberculosis. He was married to her for a really long time, and, like, he was in love with her. He met his second wife while he was still married to his first wife. And he did the honorable thing, and he's just like, yeah, I'm attracted to you too, but I'm still married. We can't see each other in that way until you know, until we're not married anymore. And I kind of liked that, because back then he could have just taken her as a mistress and had an affair behind his wife's back, but he didn't. I find that very admirable. And he died of either cancer or heart failure. I think it was cancer. I'm pretty sure it was cancer. So now we're kind of going to get into Sherlock Holmes and kind of you know, the character and what the character's based upon. So getting into that. So Sherlock Holmes was based on Conan Doyle's teacher and mentor, Dr. Joseph Bell. He was very good, because he would literally, you know, someone would walk in, and just like Sherlock, he'd just be like, okay, you have a limp, and you've been clutching your back, and, you know, listing, like, all of these, you know, things that, you know, a normal person, like, and I don't want to say a normal person, someone who isn't really paying attention wouldn't necessarily pick up upon. And so, Conan Doyle is Watson. Like, he literally says, yeah, I'm Watson, because literally, like, I saw this and I was just like, holy crap, this guy is smart and good. Sherlock as a character, he's supposed to be smarter than the rest of us. He kind of despises stupid people. Because he's just like, you don't see what's in front of your face, and a lot of the time we honestly don't see what is in front of our face, and he's kind of pretentious about it. He's like, he's kind of that guy who is good at everything, and he brags about it, but you can't really say anything because he's right. Like, he's right that he's good at everything. And you're just like, damn it. He you know, he's supposed to be the smartest detective in the world, and, you know, and the literary aspect of Sherlock and Watson, have kind of set the tone for kind of, or set the standard for, you know, the crime-fighting detective duos, Poirot and Hastings, you know, just stuff like that, and, yeah, so, the best way that I can, I can't really, explain it. You have to actually, really, you know this stuff. And so, you know, I'm also not going to explain it because, you know, you should really watch the BBC and Elementary and the Robert Downey Jr. movies, because, you know, they're enjoyable. And if you really want to get into it, read the books. I've read the books. They're not boring. So that's my video. Comment down below. Tell me what you thought of the video. Like and subscribe, please. And I would like, you know, tell me, kind of speak up, you know, tell me what you think. You know, do you want me to do more interactive videos like that, where, you know, kind of I'm in a place and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm in this place and this and this and this and this and this. And if you have any suggestions about where I should go, you know, feel free to comment. So, this is Anything and Everything, signing off.